Raymond, I have another question for
Please
you.
ask,
And
Rina.
the question is there somebody behind this thing? Is Bitcoin controlled by anybody? Is there somebody sitting somewhere, developing this software and the idea of Bitcoin and who should get what and who should get the puzzle solved? Is there somebody behind it all? How does it all work?
If you study the white paper that gave back to Bitcoin, it says that this is a completely decentralized system of sending value. Let me give an example. If you have Kenya shillings are centralized or controlled by Central Bank of Kenya. If you have US dollars, by the Federal Reserve. Bitcoin is not controlled by any government, any company, or any individual. The architecture of Bitcoin is completely open source.
Okay. Maybe you can explain that, yeah.
Open source, I'm sure most of you have applications or apps on your devices. Now, most Android applications are open source, meaning you can create an app for MoneyWise. I hope you do have. And so you can actually download the source code that creates Bitcoin.
Yeah.
It's open source, and create a MoneyWise coin, or is it a Rina coin? And people have done that. There are over 700 different cryptocurrencies out there.
Yeah.
So no one controls Bitcoin. It's completely decentralized. Now, the issuance of it, is tied to the Bitcoin protocol. Now, for anything to change with the Bitcoin protocol, 51% of all miners have to agree. So no one can just wake up and tweak Bitcoin. If you look at other countries like that have suffered hyperinflation, Venezuela or Zimbabwe, why have they lost value? Because there's endless supply of those currencies in those countries.
Because the government just keeps printing.
Exactly.
And printing.
So with Bitcoin, you cannot print or release more than the 21 million. And that sequence of every 10 minutes is inbuilt in the protocol. So no one can tweak that.
Unless all the different miners come together
and agree.
Yeah. And then that can change.
Exactly.
So that's the risk though. So I'm not a miner, for example. If miners come together and they decide we're going to change this currency in its entirety, in fact, we're going to bring in another 100 million of the currency, that will affect my value, right?
That could affect your value, but thankfully all miners, they are in agreement with the current Bitcoin protocol the way it is set. If you study Bitcoin, it has picked out the weaknesses of normal currencies. Number one, most currencies lose value because of what you mentioned, that there is endless supply of it. Now, Bitcoin is fixed. Yeah. Number two is the transactional fee element. If somebody sends you $1,000 using MoneyGram, Western Union, whichever platform they use, they will attract a fee. They have to pay something. Now, with Bitcoin, you can choose to pay zero fees, or go for standard fees, or go for priority fees, depending on your urgency. But whichever fee, if you so want to pay with Bitcoin, it is so minimal compared to,
Like, what's the maximum I would pay if I was transferring?
Currently, I did a transaction today. The highest I paid today is 65 US cents. So 0.65 US cents of a dollar.
Wow. And
that it could have been, I was sending you $100 million.
What?
Yeah. The largest transaction last year, somebody sent someone $71 million
and?
In Bitcoin and paid 40 US cents.
Send?
40 bob.
Do you know how much it costs to send 70,000 shillings?
Wow. I mean, it's if you use the M-Pesa platform, you're looking at an average of 300. Most other platforms, they have their fee. Now, this is a very interesting quote, and you should see this online. The Swedish Minister of Finance says that Bitcoin will do to banks what email did to the post office. When was the last time you bought a stamp?
I honestly don't remember.
So 2, 3, 4 years from now.
Yeah. I think I was in primary school.
Yeah.
Say that again, please.
Bitcoin will do to banks what email did to the post office.
Yeah, so banks, please pay attention. And I trust, and I think I've done my research, and I've seen a lot of banks are actually investing in the Bitcoin because they have come alive to that fact. And so we shouldn't be left behind thinking that this is the way to go. Changing money for 30 bob when I can do it for less than 40 cents.
Yes.
Amazing. Please stay tuned and subscribe. This is Rina Hicks, and you're on MoneyWise, where we create, grow, and preserve wealth.